Good morning. Okay, are you done? All right. Let's see. Hello, good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning at 9 a.m. And this is where we gather together to learn a new happiness tool every Friday morning and then practice it. I'm really here because it's stuff that I'm learning, and I'm just happy that you decide to join me and play along with me. Let's see, let's make this a little bigger so you can actually see me. I'm way over to the other side because I'm sharing it live on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. Hello, you can't see me. There we are. Anyway, I'm so excited. This is number 31, which of course means there are 30 other ones. If you want these little tips, they are all for free. I just do them for fun. You can get them on YouTube. You can log in and you can subscribe at Happier by the Minute to the Happy Huddle, and you can get all of them. You can watch them live every Friday. But either way, please come and enjoy these with me. All right, my friends, let's get going. The super easy secrets of super successful people. Success leaves clues. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is super exciting because these are all things that I have definitely used to become more successful. And again, success is whatever you define it as. It could be happier, it could be a house, it could be a job, but really what it is a feeling. And it's just about having that feeling every day of having some contentment and joy in your life and a lot of gratitude for what you have. So let us keep going. The thing that you really need to know most of all is that success is not one big thing. I'm not going to give you this whole list of tips today, and then you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to tick off every single one of them, and I'm going to do them all starting today, and my life is going to be different, and I'm going to be successful in like 6.4 minutes. That's not how it works. All of these are little tips, and every single week, this is what I do, is I just give you little nuggets, and I give you clues, right? Success leaves clues. They're little clues that you can use. And it is just a question of whether you are working with yourself or you're working against yourself. And if you're just picking up a few of them, if you just do one a day, some days I am not feeling like I can do 45 of these success tips. So I'm just doing a little one every single day. And some days I get a whole bunch of them right, and some days I can only get one right. But if I know that my intention and my habits are to do them, then every day, then I am definitely getting closer. So of course, one of the most famous books on habits and successful habits is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And by the way, yes, I talk really fast because I have so much information and I want to get you in and out in 30 minutes so you know you can fit this into your life. So this book was in 1990, and it was really groundbreaking because a lot of people were moving. It was a paradigm shift to start thinking of the multiple factors of success, that you needed multiple factors of success and habits in your personal life as well as your professional life. That again, it is this accumulation of habits, not just one silver bullet. So let's see what he says. Habit number 1 is to be proactive. Proactive people recognize that they have a responsibility. And I love he wrote responsibility. So we aren't trying to be reactive. We are trying, there's 2 parts of this. Number 1 is to be proactive and do the things that you know are going to prevent problems and stay ahead of things. And then I think part of this is also not being reactive. And so, and something that I talk about in a previous huddle as well is that we always have a stimulus and a reaction. The key is that little pause button between. Your whole day is stimuluses, and then everything, the rest of the day is all reaction to stimuluses. It's the reaction to the way your boss talked to you. It's the reaction to the traffic. The stimulus is your children not getting out of bed in the morning. The stimulus is that you burned your breakfast, and then everything is a reaction to every stimulus. And that pause button, if you can just sort of tattoo that on the inside of your brain, you're trying to remind yourself, pause. Am I reacting? And how am I reacting? Because we're going to be reacting to things. And if we were proactive, like preparing our breakfast the night before, then we don't have to worry about doing it quickly and burning it. So there's a lot of things you can be proactive, but then the key is to get it into to think about the reaction. Of course, one of the most famous people who talked about the reaction to stimulus is Viktor Frankl in his Man's Search for Meaning. And he was in a concentration camp. And he is very famous for changing his attitude and his belief about what was happening to him. And instead of, and he said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And he chose to respond to being in a concentration camp differently. He did not lose hope. He held on to hope. He helped other people, and he survived. And it's a really, really amazing story about survival. But I mean, if he can think about changing his reaction to clearly one of the most painful and most difficult stimuluses, then we can think differently about our burnt dinner and our barista writing our name wrong on the coffee cup, or our friend, canceling on us one more time. I mean, really keep this in perspective and keep that pause button ready to hit. Let's see. Oh, and so how replace reactive language with proactive language. Reactive is, he's always such a jerk, or gosh, I always do this, or I'm such an idiot, I can't remember anything, to proactive. I can choose how I respond. And convert reactive tasks into proactive ones. Oh, by the way, Happy Huddle number 3 is all about mindset and mind chatter, and really a lot of tips and exercises on how to change that reactive talk into more positive instead of more negative. So check that one out if you want. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. Successful people reverse engineer what they want. And we talk a lot about this. We talk a lot about what is your vision? If you don't know where you're going, you do not know how to get there, and you may not even end up there. One of my most favorite quotes is, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. And if you aren't working towards your vision, you're going to work towards someone else's vision. So these are just simple, and again, little tiny clues that are going to help you just think a little bit different about something today, and a little bit different about something tomorrow, and a little bit differently about something the next day, so that when these add up, you're going to see a miraculous change. So start with a clear, meaningful destination in mind. Self-awareness empowers us to shape our own lives instead of living our lives by default. And again, you've heard me say this over and over again. Do you want to show up 10 years, 10 months from now saying, how did I get here? How did this happen? Or do you want to show up and say, oh, I know exactly how I got here. I planned it. I knew exactly how to get from A to B and B to C and C to D. And that's how I ended up here at K. And that's how you do it, is planning it. And then, you know, having just that image. And it doesn't have to be, I'm in a red car and I'm in a blue house and I'm with a man that has dark hair and green eyes and wears glasses. It doesn't have to be that specific. It really can just be that feeling. I'm in a loving relationship. I'm in a house in a safe area. I drive safely to work. It might be that you drive safely to work in an Uber every day. It doesn't mean that you need to have a Ferrari. What you want is to get to and from where you're going. Habit number, and another how of number 2 is rescripting. Recognizing the ineffective scripts that have been written for you and changing those scripts by proactively writing new ones that are built of your own values. We talk a lot about this in number 22 because I talk about Vishen Lakhiani's book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And he talks about rules, which are BS rules that have been conditioned and that we keep believing and that we're stuck on because, I don't know, it was our moms, it was our grandmothers, it was our bosses, it was our best friends, it's our religion, it's our culture, whatever. Think about whether they still serve you, okay? Whether these are real scripts or whether they're ineffective. So, you know, define and describe your life by what you really believe is true, not by what other people say is true. So visualizing it in rich detail. And again, I do a whole Happy Huddle on that one with number 19. Where are you going? And I also actually, even on my website, have a little 1 minute. This all started with just 1 minute videos. Happier by the minute, 1 minute videos, see? Anyway, on my website, Happier by the Minute, there's a 1 minute video about visualization, literally 1 minute on how to visualize and what it will do for you. And I have some really great examples of people who do it. Let me just tell you, they have a lot of gold medals. Habit number 3, put first things first. Have the discipline to prioritize our day-to-day actions based on what is most important. And I love this and I use it all the time. The most important thing is to keep the most important thing the most important thing. But how often are you distracted by things that are not important? So, for example, how many hours do you spend getting sucked into those Instagram videos or into reality TV that is just bashing other people and talking about how many mistakes that they make and them beating up on each other? How many hours do you spend going through email and deleting email from businesses or companies that are just sending you sales and specials and what's happening this week that you just don't even want anymore? And by the way, if you are subscribed to all those, and I know because I was super guilty of this, I would get emails from like, last minute sale, you have to buy it today, 50% off. And then I'd say, oh my gosh, I have to look into that. Oh my gosh, I would waste so much time doing that. And I just had to unsubscribe to everything. Now, I don't know when something's 50% off and I don't need it anyway. And so I'm not distracted by it because our brain has to immediately say, what? I have to look at that. Or turn your phone off. Every time you get that little ding, whoa, I got to know what that is. Whoa, we're like Pavlov's dog. What is that? I'm telling you, I'm so distractible. And so keep the most important thing. And we talk there's even more habits about how to do that. For example, the challenge is not to manage time, but to manage ourselves. Is it time management or choice management? There's a whole Happy Huddle about that too, about discipline. But, you know, a lot of it is not, you know, the time management. And there are lots of tricks to do that. There's the Pomodoro method to do your time management, to really discipline yourself and keep yourself in this box. But it really is a philosophy that you have to think about of, it is choice management, and I'm going to choose to keep the most important thing, what I'm working on. The most successful people do not get distracted. They don't get distracted by TV. They don't get distracted by Facebook. They don't get distracted by gossip. They just don't get distracted. So this is a really great tool. This is a quadrant. If you haven't used this, I use this all the time. So it's 4 quadrants. It's the not important and important on the left, and the urgent and not urgent on the top. Now, you can put things in these quadrants, like what's happening in your day. What is important and urgent? Like if I don't pay this bill, I'm going to be charged $100. So that's urgent and important. I got to do that. What is important but not urgent? Those are things like preparation, prevention, values, planning, empowerment, relationship building. And then there's things that are urgent but not important. Those are texts. They're urgent because they came up right now, but they may not be important. And then, of course, there's not urgent and not important. Oh, I'm pretty sure TV falls into that. And escape activities and irrelevant email, like all those sales that are coming through. Where do you think, which quadrant, pop quiz, do you think successful people, the most successful people, which quadrant do they spend most of their time in? Are you ready? Anybody on Instagram want to guess? You can tell me before I give you the answer. But let's find out. Let's see if anybody's saying, okay, I don't know. A lot of people don't even want to guess. I'm going to tell you. They spend their time in the important and not urgent. The planning, relationship building, learning, spending time learning the things that they really want to become good at. Now, a lot of people said urgent and important, but the problem is those are all crises. And if all you're doing is managing crises, you're not spending time on the things that are urgent, not urgent and important. Like, hopefully your relationships don't get to a place where they're important and urgent, right? So if we spend time in the not urgent, see, there you go. But this is why you're here, is we give you these little tips so that you can think differently. It's just a tiny little light bulb. And then all of a sudden you have all these little light bulbs going off, and then it's all lit up there. So anyway, hopefully you understand that. If you don't, you can email me. We can talk about it. But again, work on the things that are really important to you, but they're not in crisis mode. Don't let them get to crisis mode. Habit number 4, think win-win. Okay, we live in a world where everybody can win. That's totally my belief. I have helped build up a huge multi-million-dollar business by zero bashing of my competitors. And I promise you, and I've gone out, I've talked to my competitors, we have the most amazing reputation because I believe that there's enough for all of us. We're all different, and there is going to be a client for all of us at all times. So we don't have to be in this, well, I can't be a public speaker because that person's better, and I can't talk about happiness because that person's already doing it, and I can't be a financial coach because that person's already really good at it. You're going to bring your own spin to it, and there is always enough for everybody. And so maintain an abundance mentality, or the belief that there's plenty out there for everyone. So many people come from lack, that there isn't enough for everybody. Please, if there's one thing you take away from this, know that the universe is abundant for everyone. If you take some, it doesn't mean that you're taking it from anywhere else. It really doesn't. The universe will make more for all of us. Now, I don't mean take in a bad, negative, like stealing way, obviously. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Like if you take from the pile, it does not mean that there's less for other people. And now there's a way to do this is when you're going into a partnership, write down ways that you can give more than you take with every interaction. So I give these for free. So hopefully I'm definitely giving more than I'm receiving, but I receive a lot just for you showing up. So habit number 5, seek first to understand. In order to seek to understand, we must learn to listen. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. This is good. Most people listen with the intent to reply. Okay, so how often when you're in a conversation are you thinking about what you're going to say next? How often are they telling a story about when they were traveling on a plane and there was this child that was crying or something happened to them on the plane, and you're thinking about your story about what happened to you on the plane, that something crazy happened to you? That is a game changer for me. I am really, really careful to catch myself thinking about, I can add to this. I can say something. I can fix that. Shh. Just listen. Just listen a lot more and ask more questions than you are talking. How often are you talking about what's happening with you and what's happening with your day? And how often is that complaining because you're complaining because you want someone to validate you? Stop looking for validation. Anyway, I'm going down a whole rabbit hole here, which is what happens to me. But seek first to understand. And that really is also in, I just did a whole huddle, the last one, number 30, about judgment. No, it was 28. Sorry, I get confused. But anyway, about judgment. And so seek first to understand has a lot to do with judgment. And it's about judging other people and about our fear of being judged ourselves. So please go back and watch that one. I think it was 28. It might have been 29. It's not 30, but I think it's 28. No, because 29 was about clutter. Anyway, there's a lot of really good ones. If you want to see the whole list, you can find them at the Happy Huddle on Happier by the Minute. Again, all free. So, but it's really, really important to understand how you feel about being judged. Okay, habit number 6, synergize. Understanding and valuing the difference in another person's perspective, we can be open to new ideas. Like synergy, be a collaborator. Think about how they can add value to what you're doing, and think about how you can add value to what they're doing. It isn't always about what you can add, and why you're so good. I will tell you, one of the other reasons that I think I've helped build a really successful company is I'm always trying to hire people that are better than I am. And in an interview, I'm saying, look, we're doing a lot right, but we're looking for people who can take that and make it even better and make it even better. I want to look for people who have what I don't have. I know what my strengths are. And so we'll even talk a little bit more about that as another habit. So if I can get through all this, oh my gosh, I didn't do my timer. Oh, well, we might go over. So anyway, hang in there with me. But put forth a spirit of trust and safety, and we will prompt others to become open, and we will feed on each other's insights and ideas. It isn't always about your best idea. Habit number 7, sharpen the saw. Okay, I'm going to try and tell this parable super quick, but there are 2 men who are doing a log sawing contest, right? One on one side and one on the other. And the first one is much stronger, and he starts sawing away, and he's going super fast, and he is getting more logs than the second guy. Well, the second guy, even though he's not sawing as many logs, leaves. The first guy's like, oh, this is awesome. He just left. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's taking a break, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to saw, and he's making a bigger pile and a bigger pile. And the other guy comes back, and he starts sawing again. Not very fast, but he is actually sawing a little bit more, and his pile is starting to match the first guy. But then he takes another break, and the first guy's like, okay, well, he's catching up to me, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get more, and my pile's getting a little bit bigger. And then the second guy who took the break comes back, and he starts sawing again, and he actually is making more logs. And the first guy's actually slowing down a little bit. And he's like, I don't understand where that guy's going. He's taking breaks. What's he doing? And the second guy, by the end, actually has more logs, even though he took multiple breaks. And the first guy's saying, What are you doing? How could you have more logs than I do? You kept walking away. And the second guy said, I left to go sharpen my saw. Yeah, go sharpen your saw. And that self-care is so important. And if your saw is sharpened, then you can do more. That's a good one. I like it. Okay, I'm going to move on to another book. Those were the 7. This 15 secrets to successful, that successful people know about time management. I heard this podcast and I thought it was so great. I'm like, okay, I got to tell people about it. Kevin Kruse interviewed over 200 ultra productive people, including billionaires, Olympians, straight A students, and successful entrepreneurs. And he asked them, what is your number 1 secret for productivity? And of course, and again, it's about being productive, but being productive in a smart way. Secret number 1. There are only 1,440 minutes in every day. We all have the same amount. We have the same as Einstein, Beyonce, Obama. We have the same amount of minutes as everybody who's doing a lot of amazing things. And the successful people, they focus on the minutes. They focus on time. And again, this is one of Stephen Covey's secrets and habits, is keep the most important thing the most important thing. Don't get distracted. Use your minutes wisely. When you go to sit down and read a gossip magazine, ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend these valuable 1,440 minutes? And I'm not saying you don't need downtime, but I'm telling you, if you want to turn off your brain, because that's what a lot of people say, and everybody says, how do you not watch TV? And don't you need some downtime? And don't you need entertainment? I'm telling you, the most productive downtime that you can do, are you ready? Meditation. That will energize you. It will not deplete your brain power. It will not have you spending time judging people. It will not have you spending time wondering if you're better than all of those Instagram posts or worse than. So if you want downtime, start meditating. Don't start watching trash TV and gossip magazines. Secret number 2, they focus on only one thing. Ultra productive people know their most important task, their MIT, and they work for it. They work on it for up to 2 hours each morning without interruptions. So again, they use the morning really wisely. They know that that is the most productive time. They do not turn on their email. They do not turn on their phones. They do not turn on the TV. They do not turn on the news. Okay, you hear me saying that all the time, but I'm going to remind you, and then maybe it'll stick. Don't get distracted by the news. That is not the most important thing for you. Unless you're becoming a politician and you want to run to be president, it's not the most important thing, okay? So stick to that. Number 3, they don't use to-do lists. Okay, this was mind-blowing for me. I love this one. They don't use to-do lists. I've got 5 different to-dos lists. I've got different books, one for work, one for home, one for Happier by the Minute. And it just totally blew my mind because I'm like, wait a minute. They don't do that. They use their calendar. And I've heard this before, and I do it halfway. I really schedule. If it's not on my calendar, then it probably isn't happening. And so now I just need, I schedule exercise. I schedule family time. I schedule meditation. I actually put it on there for morning, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon. And then it pings me. It's time for you to meditate. I don't always get to it if I'm in doing something else like driving when it pings me. But I have it constantly pinging me. So I'm constantly remembering, and then I'll do it when I get home. What else do I schedule? But schedule, obviously meetings. I never, if it's not on my calendar, I'm not going to remember to do it. So use your calendar instead of a to-do list. So if you are about to write something on a to-do list, like make that appointment with Dr. Joe, put it on your calendar. Tuesday morning at 8:30, I'm going to write down, I'm going to call Dr. Joe and make that appointment. If it is, I'm going to go visit my mom this week. Okay, you know what? 3:30 on Friday, I'm going to go visit my mom. So write everything on your calendar instead of a to-do list. I love that one. What else? Let's see. And what do you do with your to-do list? Yeah, you put it on your calendar. Somebody just asked that. So number 4, maybe procrastination with time travel. What? No, this is really easy. Your future self can't be trusted. How many times do you say, my Monday self is going to start that diet? You know what? My Friday self is going to work on that financial project. No, you're never going to anticipate how you will self-sabotage yourself in the future and come up with a solution to defeat your future self, like if then. So if I do plan to do this, so if you put something on your schedule for Friday, which I just told you to do, and you then say to yourself, well, maybe I won't start that diet on Monday. Like, I'm going to start it. Give yourself an if then and write it in your calendar. If I tell myself I'll start tomorrow on Tuesday, then I am going to call my friend, or I'm going to throw all the food in my fridge out, or I'm going to just have an if then that works for you so that you follow your schedule. Secret number 5, they make it home for dinner. I love this one because I am definitely a hard worker, and I can stay at work late, but this was so key because Intel's Andy Grove said there's always more that can be done, more that should be done, and always more that can be done. And that is the truth. And so again, if you're putting things on your schedule and you're saying that this is dinner time and this is family time, then that stuff that has to be done, put it on your schedule for another time. Plan it out, plan it out, plan it out. They use a notebook. Now, a notebook is not a to-do book. It's not a to-do. Ultra productive people free their mind by writing everything down. I do this in a different way. I send myself emails so that I know when I check my email, I know that, oh, I want to, write this blog, or I know where I can find it, because I tend to have multiple notebooks. And then I find, well, if I email myself this idea, then I'll know where to go get it. And I can put it in a file in my email system so that I can say, well, I know where I can go get that. That's a blog idea. Okay. Secret number 7, they process email only a few times a day. Key. I don't even need to go into this one, people. Do not let yourself get pinged every 5 seconds, because there's always something to do. But if you're getting distracted by that ping and, oh, I'll just answer that email. Oh, I'll just answer that email. Oh, you know what? They just asked me what I'm going to bring to Thanksgiving dinner. So, you know what? Let me go look in the cookbook really quickly. No. Put it on your schedule at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to bring to Thanksgiving dinner. And then I'm going to schedule when I'm going to shop for it. And then I'm going to put on the time that I'm going to bring it. So don't get distracted by things. Number 8, they avoid meetings at all costs. That's really good. Now, again, you can't tell your boss, you know what, Stacey, or the 15 Secrets of Successful People said, I'm not going to have a meeting with you. So no, you got to have meetings with the people who ask you, but try to keep them short, and don't schedule other meetings that really aren't necessary, and just keep them really focused. Is there an agenda, and are you staying on the agenda? Number 9, they say no to almost everything. Remember, 1,440 minutes in a day. Don't waste them. Having said that, these are super successful people. These are the Richard Bransons and the Warren Buffetts. They say no to a lot of things. Now, if we are not at the level of Warren Buffett and Richard Branson at this time, then there is a time to say yes to everything. If you want to be a speaker, you're going to say yes to speaking at the Boy Scouts, and you're going to say yes to speaking for free at the church on Sunday, and you're going to say yes to speaking for, the women's club that is going to meet on Monday morning. You're going to say yes to everything because it's going to help you practice. So remember, you're saying no to things that are distracting, that you're going to say no to things that aren't the most important thing. Now, they follow the 80-20 rule. This is the Pareto principle, where 20% of what you do accounts for 80% of the results. So 20% of what you do creates 80% of your results. So don't spend your time on 80% of things, only 20% of things. Now, what that means, delegate. Delegate, delegate, delegate. It says that's in saying no to things. It's keeping the most important thing the most important thing. Delegate. Now, one of the reasons we don't delegate is because they're not going to do it as well as we're going to do it, right? 80% has to be the new 100%. It's okay if it isn't perfect. And remember, this is what's happening to me when I had too much going on in the marketing department, and then I was trying to focus on the talent department. And I had to say, okay, well, the talent is the most important thing right now. Marketing's still important, but I have to know that I have to keep the most important thing the most important thing. So I'm going to delegate, and I'm going to also say, does it have to be perfect? Also, perfection can be a killer for us. They delegate almost everything. How can this task be done versus how can I get this task done? Delegate. Number 12, they theme days of the week. This is so good. This is totally life-changing for me. I'm using this all the time. They batch their work to maximize their efficiency. So on Friday might be a day that you're going to focus on your finances. Whenever your bills come in, you're going to put them in a pile and you're not going to open them. You're just going to put them in the pile. And Friday, because you got it on your calendar, Friday at 4 is the day we do financials. Friday at 4 financials. So you got it on your calendar. Nothing else is going to get scheduled over that. That's when you're going to do your bills. You're not going to look at them any other time. It doesn't matter if you don't pay it before them because you figured that out. You're going to do all your meetings on Mondays, right? You're going to try and batch them together so that you're not trying to do things in between. You're really just getting it done. And you're saying, okay, that's the day that is just going to be kind of a meeting day. I'm not going to have to worry about my financials on that day because I know I can look at them on Friday. But if you're always trying to figuring in where to put things, then you're going to, it's going to be a huge challenge. Perfect. Let's see. Laura, please tell me what time it is because I am not watching the clock. Secret number 13, they touch things only once. This, my friends, again, life-changing. I am notorious for as soon as it comes in, especially things that come in from my kids' school. Oh my gosh. I look at it and then I put it on the pile. Like, am I going to post it on the wall or am I going to throw this one away? Or am I going to file this one in his, like, he's going to look at this when he's 30 one day and love to see how he wrote when he was in 2nd grade. 10:34. Oh my gosh, I'm totally over. So sorry. I'm going to keep going. If you got to go, you got to go. But anyway, there's just too much good stuff. And I only have 2 more. So, and I have down here at the bottom, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. productivitypodcast.com/resources-2/ and you can get a lot of these really great resources from the 15 secrets of successful people. Anyway, only touch things once. The bills, when they come in, put them into, well, that's twice because you're going to put it into the pile and then you're going to take care of it on the Friday, but don't touch it 5 times. Secret number 14, they practice a consistent morning routine. They nurture their body in the morning with water, a healthy breakfast, light exercise. They nurture their mind with meditation or prayer, inspirational reading, journaling. They spend that morning time not looking at email, not looking at Facebook, but spending time investing in themselves. Number 15, energy is everything. And this is super cool because they talk about energy as in your body and taking care of your body and your attention and your focus and you'll have more energy to do things. And of course, in this tribe, you know, we also talk about energy as in the universal energy. And if we're more positive and we have a more positive energy around things, we're going to attract more positive energy. So, okay, I was going to talk about tribe of mentors, but I'm not going to talk about that because I'm over, but I'm going to add it to another one, and I will do this one later, okay, because there's a lot of really good stuff in Tribe of Mentors. Tim Ferriss is so great. He's written a lot of really great books. I can't adult today. Please don't make me adult. Okay, this is just a teaser, spoiler alert for what will be coming in number 32. But what he does say is happiness is a choice and it's a skill that you practice. Okay, my friends, I'm way over time. If you want to look at all these other happy huddles, these are all the names of all the other ones. Morning ritual, self-esteem, the F word, having a bad day, stop one venting, your worst enemy. I have so many different topics that I would love, love, love for you to join and see. But don't miss a minute of happiness. I'm sorry I went so fast, but there's so much good information. And again, there are 31 other ones. So thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Go have a really awesome, happy day. And let's see, I'm saying bye to my Instagram people. Whoopsies. Bye-bye. Have a great day. And then I'm saying bye to my Facebook people. Bye, everybody.